2018 Volvo S90 T8 plug-in hybrid. Volvo has recently joined the chorus of carmakers proclaiming electrification to be the future. The small Swedish automaker's assertion is one of the most emphatic, as it promises that every new Volvo model line launched from 2019 onward will incorporate an electric motor in some capacity. And, unlike many of its competitors, Volvo has made considerable progress toward this goal, with several plug-in hybrids already for sale. Highs. Gorgeous inside and out, potent powertrain, palatial rear seat. Lows. Maddening shifter, finicky touchscreen, not much regen braking configurability. The latest electrified Volvo is the S90 sedan, which for 2018 gains a plug-in hybrid variant called the T8 twin-engine. It does not, in fact, have two engines, but rather one gasoline four-cylinder engine that's both supercharged and turbocharged, plus a pair of electric motors. The same setup resides in the T8 versions of the XC60 and XC90 crossovers. An 8-speed automatic gearbox transmits torque from the engine to the front wheels, while a 10.4 kWh lithium-ion battery pack feeds the electric motor positioned at the rear axle. A second motor is integral with the transaxle and also gets engine starting duties. Powerplay. In terms of acceleration, the S90's powertrain certainly delivers on its top-of-the-range positioning. The 400 horsepower hybrid easily outsprinted the lesser T5 and T6 S90s at the test track, putting down a 0-60 mph time of 4.5 seconds, 1.1 seconds ahead of the 316 horsepower S90 T6 and 1.8 ahead of the 250 horsepower T5. The T8's time would have been good for a second-place finish in that measurement in our latest comparison test of six-cylinder sports sedans, and it wipes the floor with other plug-in luxury sedans, including the BMW 530, 6.1 seconds, and the Cadillac CT6 plug-in, 5.2 seconds. In pure mode, with the battery fully charged, the Volvo can travel up to 21 miles on electric power alone, according to the EPA, at speeds up to 78 miles per hour, although we struggle to keep the accelerator from dipping too low, and thus firing the gas engine even at a moderate pace on 55 mph roads. Hybrid mode lets the car decide how to best utilize the powertrain's elements, while power mode puts the maximum amount of grunt to the ground. There are a few other options available in the S90's tricky-to-master touchscreen, such as a charge mode that runs the engine. In order to recharge the battery pack, it can also be charged by plugging into an electrical outlet when stopped, and a hold setting that reserves the battery's charge in order to save some juice for electric-only driving later on. The S90 T8 achieved an overall average of 27 mph in our hands, a bit lower than the EPA's 29 mpg combined number for hybrid driving. The S90's 32 mpg result in our 75 mph highway test also fell slightly short of the EPA's highway estimate, although it did beat the gas-only S90 T6's number by 1 mpg. Because pure mode won't force the car to stay on a diet of electrons alone, we couldn't get a reliable electric-only range during our real-world highway test. As always, your mileage may vary wildly depending on how often you plug in your plug-in hybrid. Changing gears. Beyond the numbers, the S90's powertrain works well in the real world, delivering a more seamless driving experience than we remember from our test of the XC90 T8. Greater configurability of the regenerative braking capability would be appreciated. As it is, there's only one additional setting to increase regeneration, the B position achieved by pulling back the shifter an extra notch. And about that shifter, while it's a delicately beautiful piece, made by Swedish crystal company Orfors, its operation is maddening. A single tap of the gear shift forward or back selects neutral, meaning that 2 taps forward are required for reverse and 2 taps backward are needed for drive. It's even worse if you decide to employ the B position, as shifting from that mode to reverse requires 3 taps. We never got used to it during our time with the car. Long and strong. Electrification isn't the only change bestowed upon the S90 for 2018, as all versions sold in the United States have a 4.5-inch longer wheelbase and are imported from China. The S90 now sits at the larger end of the mid-size luxury sedan class, being about half a foot longer than a BMW 5 Series or a Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Fit for a king. Gorgeous wood, soft brown leather, and a beautifully sculpted dashboard gave our nearly fully loaded Inscription model an interior ambience that easily lived up to its $82,140 as tested price. That included extras such as a $900 head-up display, a $3,200 Bowers & Wilkins sound system, a $1,200 pair of air springs in the rear, and a $2,550 convenience package with a power trunk lid, a 360-degree camera system, and park assist. A comparably outfitted S90 Inscription T6 odd would sticker for roughly $10,000 less.